pleased with the guys, their effort tonight. They're just, the whole mindset of coming in here to Tiger Stadium and playing the kind of football that you want to play, as the season begins to take shape into an SEC schedule. Clearly, offensively, we did some great things tonight, running the football, throwing it over 667 yards. And look, you can characterize it any way you want, but, Nussmeier, the receivers, Durham, all of those guys were, high performers tonight. And, I thought, defensively, other than the one drive in the third quarter, I thought we did some really good things defensively. We've got to tighten up a couple of things here and there, but, by and large, that's a difficult offense to defend. They do a really good job. They're well coached. They're a top 15 offense in the country. So, there were some challenges there that I think our guys responded to. Bottom line is we've gotten better over the last, 5 weeks, and that's what we needed to be going into this off week as we get ready for an SEC schedule. So that will open up to questions.
Ryan Caden Durham not playing in the second half. What's he dealing with?
Foot, but we don't see it as being, anything that's a major injury.
And then what did he do so well just to start the game there with those 2 touches?
Ran fast. You set me up for it, so.
Coach, just the start of your defense, I mean, they came in with a red-hot offense. I think they only had 1 field goal the first 7 times they got their hands on the ball. So just the start of your team. I thought
a couple of things. First of all, the backers played well. Penn and Weeks, that combination, they're very active. Their assignments, they were all over it. There's a lot of misdirection there. They got us on a couple of plays early on with some plays we hadn't seen before with some misdirection. They have really good schemes, and we had to settle down. But those 2 guys played very, very well. And then, it's important to point out we're really doing a nice job up front. We're not giving up, running lanes that put our backers in a position where they can't go downhill and make some plays. So I thought the front 6, front 7 did a pretty good job today.
Garrett Nussmeier, a big night with 409 yards, but he also had the 2 picks. So how would you sort of evaluate the 2? How do you sort of balance out the 2 sides of his performance today?
Yeah, I mean, we don't want any interceptions, but I think they're situational. The one right before the half, he tried to force a ball in there that we would have liked him to be much more prudent in dropping the ball down. The second interception, those are plays that he knows better. Like you're moving to the right, you have better options there. I think he probably got caught up a little bit in the game in that situation. It was late. We were up pretty big. I think in the right circumstances and situation, I'm not here to defend him for that because he knew that he needed to do a better job with the ball. I'm not here panicked about what happened tonight with the 2 interceptions. There are some where you go, oh my God. These were decisions that are easily correctable, and I'm not concerned about the 2 interceptions from that perspective.
Brian, is it safe to say, right straight back, that this is probably your most fundamentally sound game on defense? I mean, you talked about the front and kind of the contain that they did, but tackling, you got guys to the ground too.
Yeah, it was better. I mean, I think there are a couple of plays, at our safety position where, we just have to be better, and getting out of our pedal and playing the 9 route. I think we need to be better there. I thought we missed a couple tackles, but overall, structurally, we're heading in the right direction. We thought we closed the gap last week, I think we continue to close the gap, and quite frankly, we have to, right? I mean, as we get into SEC play, the teams that we play they'll expose you if you don't. So we're making the progress necessary that we need to.
Coach, earlier this week, you said that you can't replace Harold Perkins. What week steps up? His leadership, his energy, everything. What'd you see from him tonight, especially flying all over the field?
Well, the energy, he changed the complexion of the game with the goal line stand. I don't know that that's going to, put them back in the game, but I think it ended the game, for them in that situation. And they're just, those are big plays that you don't see very often, goal line stand plays like that where you bend somebody back. And that's a big quarterback. He's over 200, he's about almost 210 pounds. So, he's an outstanding football player. You pair him up with Penn, who's assignment correct. We put him in some tough situations, Greg, tonight too, where he had to cover a receiver on 2 or 3 occasions coming up underneath out of the backfield. And I told Blake a couple times, I go, "You're a linebacker coach. You're a tough guy. I mean, you're asking him to do some things that I would never ask him to do that." So those two pair up really well and kind of feed off each other.
Yeah, Coach, right here to your right. Just the next week, what does it kind of look like for you guys in terms of recovery and kind of the things you want to see during this bye week before, obviously, you guys prepare for all this?
Yeah, we're gonna register all of our guys to vote on Monday. So a big voter registration day. Get their absentee ballots in and make sure that that's done. And then it's not really a recovery week. We're going to practice. We still have some real work to get done. We'll treat the second bye week as a recovery week. This will be a kind of a work week for us.
Hey Brian, just kind of a similar question to what was asked earlier, but just in the context of the defense not having Harold today, how did you guys kind of plug that hole? Like, what did you see in terms of you guys making changes to fill that absence?
We didn't. I mean, we played with our star position, so Major Burns played, at that position, and, really kind of just rolled into a different structure. We didn't play Buffalo, which is the 3 linebackers, and just played star, which we played earlier in the year. And so the biggest difference was that we were subbing in Whit Weeks, and he didn't sub in today. So aren't we smart? That fundamentally is really the only difference, is that you kept Penn and Whit Weeks on the field most of the game, if not the whole game, and then Burns and Kylan played a little bit at the star as well. That was the configuration.
Coach, on Caden, that's 200 yards.
They're watching the Alabama-Georgia game in there. Obviously, Georgia came back and scored again or something. Who knows? It's like a track meet.
Back here, Coach. No, just,
Back, okay, so good. Whatever.
Coach, on Caden, that's 200 yards in the first half combined. It feels like 3 straight weeks he's really getting better and better. Just talk about kind of his growth since he kind of walked into the true freshman to where he is at this point in the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done a really good job of putting him in a position to be successful, right? I mean, in the first play, we were expecting 3 deep and kind of that configuration. So I thought Joe Sloan did a great job of play calling in that situation to get him out, because there's a play we hadn't run before where we get him out on the perimeter, get him the ball, and I thought our receivers, the one thing that happened tonight, which I was really pleased with, guys were really working hard to block downfield and get guys, free. And you could see that commitment to, 11 guys working together. And look, we had a holding penalty on one, but they were working their tails off. And you had great blocks on that play. And then the rest is, he's just got elite speed. The run was a similar situation. They were in a configuration to stop our passing game. And as I said earlier in the year, we were worried about the run game, but we were getting loaded boxes. Now we're getting defensive structure that is trying to prevent the passing game, and it's giving us fair looks in the run game, and you saw what happened. And so he was the beneficiary of a pretty fair box in terms of run, and then he uses his elite speed.
We got time for two more, Corey.
Brian, through the first 5 games, how would you assess your safeties when they are asked to cover? And if there are things you feel like those guys need to work on before Ole Miss comes in, where do you guys sort of look?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an issue that we have to continue to evaluate, and who's the right group that should be on the field. And it's look, it's not like we're pressing them and putting them down on the line of scrimmage. I mean, I think we just have to be technically better, not necessarily ask somebody to do something that they can't do. We were 12 yards deep, and we were late getting out of our pedal. So the guys can play the position. They just have to be technically better. And then we're going to, Tuesday we're going to put the guys on the field that we think can win SEC games for us. So what's that rotation look like? As we've said, and we've talked about this, we've rolled a lot of guys in there. We get to, 2 weeks from today, there's not going to be a lot of rolling. There's going to be guys that are going to be playing. So this has kind of been to try to get it on film and say, these are the guys that should be starting.
Front left, Coach. We still haven't seen Chris Hilton. What is his status going into the bye week and then Ole Miss?
Yeah, again, I think this has been more about getting somebody that is at